Good morning. I'm so glad to see you here. Thank you for joining me. I'm Deirdre Online. I'm a mystic and a person out there zooming around in this world like you, looking for greater meaning. About 15 years ago, I had a spiritual awakening and I found that purpose, that meaning, and I'm just here to uh, be a friend and be a guide and share some of the really cool stuff I've learned from the greater reality and my experience. So this month, I'm really focusing on masculine energy and men. We've talked about the sacred path to enlightenment as a father. What is the sacred masculine? And where are the men? Where is men? That part of ourselves and our great family. Where is it going? Today, we're going to talk about anger. As I said in my news blast, that I've always had a lot of anger. Anger is something I've really had to deal with. I'm quick to trigger, and it really doesn't take much for me to get angry. Along my course of study and in my spiritual awakening, this anger dissipated. It went away. I went into this field of calm and peace, oneness. I was like, wow, that's pretty amazing. How do I keep this? Well, it stayed around for a while, but trust me, it came right back. So that's what I'd like to share with you today, some of the tips and the tools, and really what's the source of anger? Why do we have anger anyway in our human experience? Excuse me. Anger is misplaced power, period. It is the misplaced energy, the life force of your power, of your ability to build, to create, to have a desire and make it happen. We all, every single one of us is born with that power, which, by the way, is a masculine power because it is action. As I said before, we're not talking about gender in this moment, though I will get to that conversation about men, but masculine energy is action. And this is very clearly laid out in the mystical Kabbalah, which is probably 10,000 years old, the mystical teachings of Kabbalah. So this power that we innately have, we are born with, I am here world, has the ability to create either the building blocks of what we want to do, or it has the ability to destroy what we want to do. We are all born with that because we were born human, and innately as a human, we are broken. We are not perfect. We have the light and the dark. We have our good side and we have our not so good side. So anger in itself is not bad. So I'd like for us to first start by just lifting the judgment of anger. Oh gosh, I got angry. Oh, I'm such a bad person. Or, God, that person's so angry. And, anger is not always seen. I mean, there's cold anger, there's calculating anger, there is detached anger. We might know what that looks like today. People making decisions, leaders in the world that are extraordinarily harmful, and they talk about it as if it's just business, no emotion. So anger does not necessarily have emotion attached to it. I want you to think about that for a minute. Anger is a presence. It's a presence that either can encompass you and you can learn from it how to be the master of this energy field, and reclaim your true power, your spiritual power, your mystical power, and your power as a your superhero power to create and build what you're here to do, your purpose, because you came in with a very specific purpose. You had a plan. You said, I have X amount of years to do it. I'm going to do this and this and this. And then you said, oops, I see there's going to be some obstacles. I'm going to have to learn how to get through those obstacles to achieve my goal. And you came here. So we all have this. Every single person has a desire, a purpose for being here. Anger, many times, is the fuel to having that purpose manifest. So let's talk about the different kinds of anger. There is righteous anger, and righteous anger is the passion to stand up for justice, for truth, to make right what is wrong, to have your voice heard, to have the energy to push through obstacles, to make truth, virtue, and value seen again, and actually to win. To win truth, ethics, value, virtue. That's righteous anger. But righteous anger is a sword. It's a sword because that sword can tip, that sword can turn and become a blade and become toxic anger. And that's what we want to be very aware of right now as we embark on healing and saving our world. As we embark upon standing up for justice and saying, no, this is the 21st century. This is what we stand for. We will not tolerate anything else. We want to be, however, very careful that this righteous anger doesn't turn and become toxic anger. Because toxic anger does not create, it destroys. But not in the good sense. Righteous anger will destroy evil, hate, violence, intolerance. Because righteous anger, it comes from the foundation of compassion, understanding, and wisdom. Righteous anger is fully held, fully tethered to powerful wisdom. When righteous anger shifts and becomes toxic anger, you have just severed your power from your greatest source, you, your soul, your God power. And that toxic anger has a life of its own. It begins to make its own decisions. It begins to charge ahead, lead the ship. You get left behind, and lots of people fall in the wake. It is essential now, that we all expand our consciousness and be the people that we are born to be in this time, in the 21st century. We have learned so much through thousands of years of many, many lives. It is now time to proceed with wisdom. It is now time to proceed with compassion and use the power of anger as it was meant to be, a creative force, life force, the force that transforms, the force that changes, the force that parts the Red Sea. I guarantee you, when Moses was at the Red Sea with Aaron and Miriam, he did not say, oh, Red Sea, well, I think kind of Would you like part? That might be kind of fun. I don't think he did that. He was pointed, he was with his staff. Red Sea, you shall part. You have that power too. And we all have a Red Sea that we have to part, especially today. Now, toxic anger, which was the subject we're going to talk about today, the effects of toxic anger are detrimental to your health. Toxic anger is an energy that is like a black hole. It's a sinkhole. It actually doesn't create. You think it creates, but you're actually is decreating. It is undoing. So toxic anger is something you want to be very, very aware of. And the way you can determine whether your anger is toxic or whether your anger is righteous anger, a power, is very simple. There's a few questions to ask yourself. And this is a part of a mindfulness practice. When you feel the anger come up, when you're in the silent watcher and you feel this anger coming, observe. What is this anger tied to? Is it tied to something petty? Maybe I didn't get peanut butter on my toast when I wanted agave. I'm going to get mad at the waitress. That's toxic anger. So any kind of anger that's tied to something pretty mundane, pretty petty, that's toxic anger. Now you may think, oh, that's no big deal. Everybody's angry. But I'm here to tell you, enough of those moments of toxic anger that add up over years will make you sick. I've been a healer for over 15 years. I worked with my mother at 16. She overcame terminal cancer, lived 13 years longer than was expected. I know what I'm talking about, and I'm an expert. I've been doing this, well, I don't want to tell you how long, it will give away my age. But this toxic anger causes your system to break down, and it causes the system and other people to break down. When someone is filled with toxic anger, you want to get out of the way. You want to give yourself permission to say, I'm going to leave now. I'm going to turn off the TV now. I'm going to turn off the radio. I cannot listen to it. And that's the next thing you want to do to stay in your righteous anger. And I'm using the word anger a lot because that's what we're talking about here today. Don't allow yourself to receive someone else's toxic anger, because that also is detrimental to you and to the person who is espousing or in that energy field. And by listening to it, taking it in, allowing it into you, not only are you not serving yourself, but you are condoning the behavior, the bad behavior. You're saying it's okay for you to vomit a destructive force all over me. But it's not okay. It's not okay for anyone to pour that energy into you. You are worth more. You are holy. You are noble. You are a creation of the perfection of all that is. You are a messenger of light. And it is not okay for anyone to spill their toxic anger, their unconsciousness upon you, any more than it would be okay to take black paint and throw it on the Mona Lisa in the Louvre, which I thought was very cool with Beyonce there with Mona Lisa. For those of you who have maybe seen that video. You are to be honored. In the first place that it begins is within us. That honoring and that respect of what we will receive and what we won't receive. So then what happens with our dear men? We love you, men. In a man, because you are the template, now we're going to talk about gender, you're the template, the physiology, the way you're built, your brain, the whole package. You are holding masculine power. Masculine power, remember, untethered to wisdom, compassion, and understanding, becomes toxic anger. Let that sink in. I want to say that one more time. You as a man, physiologically, the way your brain's put together, the way your body's orchestrated, your consciousness, your mind, holds the masculine energy, was created to hold the masculine energy. Therefore, this power is right there with you, very palatable. And if this power of yours is not connected, rooted with wisdom, compassion, and understanding, your power becomes toxic anger. I really want to say here how tragic it is and heartbreaking to see the violence, the destruction placed into our world through that masculine energy. I also want to say that's a very small part of men. Most of you guys, the majority of you guys, are really amazing. You're cool. You're awesome. You're doing great stuff. You're not perfect. Okay, women, we are so not perfect. And we're all in this together, just trying to stumble along and make our way. Nobody gives us a handbook and says, hey, dude, you got like superpowers, and so this is how you're going to use them. You have to figure all this stuff out. And then that's why I'm here, to share my wisdom, to give you some tools and tips so you can have a cool life, a great life, and have love and family and career and serve. Anger is also a cover. When anger becomes toxic, it also becomes a covering. And it covers a deep shame and a sense of I'm not enough. I have to prove being a man. I don't feel my manhood. I don't feel whatever that's supposed to feel like. I'm powerless. If you look at the people who are committing the greatest violence, you will see that ultimately they feel they have no power in their life. No power. Which means that they are completely severed from their purpose, their soul, and who they came in to be. And yes, this gets so profound that it is mental illness. So when we say, oh, someone did violence, they're mentally ill. Yes, they are mentally ill, because the definition of mental illness is you are disconnected and unstrung from your humanity, from yourself. You are lost. We're all lost. Some of us more than others. tragically. And we are here to find our way back to the center point. Who am I? Why am I here? What's my purpose? And it's important on this path of purpose that you have fun. It's important that you play, that you have fun, that we all have fun together. Toxic anger destroys all of that. It is time to take your sword, take that power, turn that sword and become a master swordsman, a master marksman, and hit the mark and be in your true power. In the ancient Hebrew, there's no word for sin. Sin does not exist as a word. Translated, the word sin comes from the root to shoot an arrow and to miss the mark, to make a mistake. You're not in alignment, you're off. And if you're a little off here, by the time it hits there, it's way off. This is why having a practice, 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night, finding your center, reaffirming your purpose, who you are, and deeply connecting, I am a man, and I am power, and it is the power of love. Because love in action is power. It is intoxicating, and it can part the Red Sea. And that is who you really are. You are love. And in the core, before emotion, before expression, before anything feeling happens, that power is there for you to be an emissary of the myriad and the colors of love in our world. And boy, do we need that right now. So let's take a moment and we'll call in healing to wash away toxic anger, align ourselves, men and women, into the powerful love in action, righteousness, righteous anger. And I want to say one more thing. Righteous anger is not the ego. It's not from the ego. It's not, I'm right, you're wrong. I want to really make that clear. As you can see, I could do 2 full days on this, and I'm trying to get it down into 20 minutes. Righteous anger is a higher calling. It is attached, as I said, to a greater truth. But it is not, I'm right, you're wrong. It is the verve. It is the power that I will not back down in the face of adversity. I will not allow someone to be harmed. It is it's the true energy of a hero. When you hear these stories, you see these stories of heroes, they're in righteous anger because it gives you a power to do something greater than you thought you could do. You didn't think you could go in that burning building. You didn't think you could move that car. You didn't think you... But you can, because that's your superpower. Let's come back into our energy, into our meditation. As I ask you now, just to watch your breath. Take a deep sigh, let the breath go. And see there in your heart a beautiful, beautiful golden orb of light. This golden orb of light is very warm, and if you don't see it, that's perfectly fine. Just imagine it's there and feel this beautiful warmth in your heart. And now this golden orb of light, we're going to blow a breath into the globe of light. And this breath is the great light of the central sun, today being solstice. It is the great light of the Creator, Adonai, the great light of the Buddha, the light of Moses. And allow this orb in your heart to soften your heart and open your great heart, the lion heart, the great heart. And to feel that heart, that beautiful power of yours expanding into your shoulders, into your back. This is your shield of light, the mantle of manhood. And with a breath, allow this powerful light, this shield of light of your great lion heart to descend down into your solar plexus, down into your belly, feeling your belly, your organs, your pelvis, until this great light is a golden, golden planet. A planet of light, like Jupiter, the largest planet. Until this light is the sun, the great sun. And think of the rays of light. The sun is so powerful. The sun gives us life. The sun grows food. We cannot live without the light of our sun. But too much sun, and we are burned, we parch, and we die. Your light, your power must be balance. So call now in this central pillar of your being, this sort of light through the center of your being, and we say together, I am balance. I am the power of love. I am authority of wisdom. I am compassion, fierce compassion. I am truth. I am man. And from this, I ask you to bring your attention to the top of your head. For there above your head is a crown of light. And this light, this white light from this beautiful crown, hovering above you, is shining down rays and rays of white light. And this is for all of us. And this white light is grace. Grace. No man has power without grace. Grace comes, and she upon her mantle, sitting upon her throne now, pours the very essence of her being over us and washes over us, and through us all toxic energy, all toxic doubt, shame, loss, washing from us anything negative anyone has ever told you, anything negative you have ever felt about yourself, and anything negative that does not serve you in your worldview. See this beautiful white light washing through you, washing down through your feet until you are in a pool of water, and like smoke, it just floats away out of the bottom of your feet. So effortless. Ah, this is grace. As grace blesses, washes, cleanses our body, our mind, our brain, our heart, our soul, our nervous system, our organs, our thoughts. Washing and washing so easily. We take another breath. And let it all go. Let it go. This very second is brand new. This very second, you can change the direction of your life to be in perfect alignment with who you really are. In this moment, you are yoked and connected to the great reality, the divine, powerful intelligence, the powerhouse of creation. As we say together, thank you. Thank you, presence, who fills me and sustains me, for empowering me, reconnecting me, and healing me of toxic anger. Thank you for restoring me and rejuvenating me into the righteous passion of my calling. I am a man. Okay, let's open our eyes and come back. Just take a moment. We'll connect all of you who are here today, in the future, at any time. We are now breaking the barriers of what we consider time and space and collecting ourselves into the unified field of the present now, which is eternal. And as we do this, we gather and grow a movement and momentum of the new man, the sacred, powerful, strong, vulnerable, weak, compassionate, caring, stoic, masculine energy. Thank you. Thank you all for being here with me today. It was longer than usual, but so important. Have a beautiful day, beautiful life, and let's go make a beautiful world together. Bye-bye.